Good morning and warm welcome on behalf of DB Jain College for the technical session of the National Business Research Conference on Emerging Business Trends in Post-COVID-19 organized by Department of Management Studies. I request Professor G. Anbalahan, Faculty, Department of Management Studies, to deliver the welcome address and introduction of our chief guest.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, one and all. On behalf of Department of Management Studies of DB Jain College, I it privilege and pleasures to welcome you all for our technical session on fourth National Business Research Conference on emerging business trend in post-COVID-19. I wish to extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. L. Vijay, Principal, SA College of Arts and Science, Chennai. He acquired experience in both educational and corporate sector to a total of more than 20 years. Awards: Millennium Poet, Best Teacher Award, Best EDC Coordinator, Visionary Awards, Hard Efforts, MSME, Rashtriya Vidya Saraswati, Shiksha Bharati, Gem of India, Bharat Vikas Ratan, Best Educationist, National Education Leadership, Gold Star Asian International, Education Achievement, and Best Educationist. He has good knowledge and experience in the field of research. He also published more than 150 papers in various international and national peer review impact and index journal, published 32 articles on various management disciplines. He published books on Mahabharata and Management, Tirukkuralum Melanmayam, Management in Ida and PDL, and he editor reviewer for Journal of Management, Entrepreneurship, Recruiter's Guide, KPC Journal of Management, International Journal of Research in Commerce, IT and Management, Asian Academic of Management Journal, etc. He also conduct research titled Media Market Study, a study on the market for media-related accessories on its competition. Employees need identification, a study on the satisfaction of grievances of the employees and prospect on export on leather industry. He holding a patent for e-commerce shopping process on gift and needs, holding copyright on 4D teaching, quiz, incubation and stimulation work. He also guide on supervisor, research scholar and various university. He also membership in various professional associations. He also perform various additional tasks and responsibility. He governing council member at Hindu High School, director of quality counselor, consultant for ISO certificate and consultant for academic process. He also facilitate more than 500 programs, session as guest facilitator, motivational speaker, pick speaker, workshop, FDP, MDP speaker, and facilitate more for Six Sigma project management, digital marketing, professional psychological counselor, yoga guru, NLP trainer, entrepreneurship promoter, patent advisor, business analysis. I take this opportunity to welcome distinguished delegates for various institutions for participating in this event. Welcome you, sir. A wonderful session. Once again, welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your brief note. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest, Dr. L. Vijay, Principal, SA College of Arts and Science, Chennai, will now deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. Very good morning. It's indeed a very happy moment for me to deliver the keynote address on this fourth national conference on the new paradigm of management post COVID-19. First of all, I take this moment to thank my guru, my mentor, Dr. M. Shaktivel Murugan, who shaped me, who coined me, and when my profile was read, I'm happy that they have given me a chance to talk a very distinct information which they have not pointed out. DB Jain is my first institution in my academic career from 2001 till 2007, where Dr. M. Shaktivel Murugan was the professor, coordinator of Shift 2. And apart from that, he was also my faculty when I pursued my PG diploma in portfolio management in Pondicherry University. This is where the platform where I experienced a lot of new avenues. Sir has given me a lot of freedom to do a lot of activities. That is where this department happens to be my mother home, where I learned a lot, I experienced a lot, which now makes me to travel to other spheres. This is where the place where I learned entrepreneurship. This is the place where I learned about new concepts. This is the place where I learned about students management. So I'm happy that every year on different aspects, either about a seminar, a workshop, or a conference, Sir gives me a chance to get associated to talk on this platform. This COVID, as the conference theme suggests, a new avenue is opened. Though we call this as a national conference, as a tradition, this is the 4th year the national conference is getting conducted, initiated by the then head of the department, Dr. Ganapati, a good friend of mine. Today it is getting followed. A lot of activities what the Department of Management Studies have started, it has never stopped. That itself shows the interest towards professional development and student development is getting focused with this department. Because of this pandemic, we are getting connected virtually. And I was able to see when the list was shared and the papers were shared to me for review, I was able to see international academicians, international professionals who are abroad, from away from India, has sent their papers and they are presenting their papers today in the conference. That means this platform has given an avenue than a national conference. It is an international conference. And one of the fellow resource person on another technical session is also from an abroad country. In that way, I'm happy, I'm delighted that the pillars of this department has taken initiative to make it to an international forum, and this conference can be well called as an international conference conducted by DB Jain Management Studies Department. I'm happy that even though it has got postponed from the last week, again for the last 2 days, again here in Tamil Nadu, we are facing heavy rains. Today, even most of the people are not able to travel because of waterlogging, and there are network issues. I was able to see quite good number of people have joined, and I was heard that on the inaugural speech again, the guest touched on this point. Before I move on, my theme which was given to me is human resource. Let me give an overview what I felt in the last 6 months of pandemic. All when started during April 2020. Though the initial birth of COVID-19 is November, we have celebrated the first birthday of COVID-19. India started realizing this pandemic right from the late March or the early April 2020. Most of us said there are challenges. Management always believe challenges are the opportunities to manage the process, to make the process competitive. Today, after the technology has grown, after we started experiencing e-commerce, we never call this as a global market or a local market. The entire world is having one unique market where we are fighting against the global competitors. Today, the real scenario has got explored. Even small retailers. When I was talking with the Tamil Nadu Retailers Association in their monthly meeting, I was surprised that the association has taken an initiative for the very small shops which sells vegetables or groceries. Normally on every street we used to see a very small shop. After this pandemic, people are not able to come out and buy their products. They have made these shopkeepers learn using a WhatsApp business account. With that, they have created a network among this local area, and they have listed what are all the products which is available in their shop. So based on this WhatsApp business account, they are able to sustain in their business. And when we call Swiggy, the market leader who delivers food before, after this pandemic situation, they have explored a new business avenue. They have made tie-up with the grocery shops, the vegetable shops, and even they are working on A to Z products. Whatever the shop they are, they want to make a network, and whatever things you want, you can order, and the Swiggy partner will deliver to your home within a very short time. In a previous forum, I was talking about e-commerce supplier from Chennai, Ansio. When Amazon or Flipkart was blocked because of this pandemic, Ansio as a local partner, they had the permission to supply vegetables, fruits and groceries. They tried to supply to the entire Chennai city, but now Swiggy has explored a new dimension of business, and they faced a challenge that people are still afraid of buying cooked food from their restaurants. But now, for the Swiggy partners, this is a new avenue, and even people are satisfied to buy through the Swiggy platform. In that way, whatever the challenge happens, it paves way for a new opportunity. Let me enter into my part of the keynote, which I have to focus, where I have to make my points. Human resources. This particular pillar of management, when we call the four pillars of management, operations, finance, marketing, and human resource. All other three pillars are governed by this one pillar. And this is a resource, a valid resource, which know to think, which know to give suggestion, which know to make changes. The all other three pillars of management, like marketing, it is based on how we brand, how our customers react. About finance, whether we decide and we invest, it might be a failure or it might be a success. Operations, we should know the technology to make things happen so smooth. For all these three, human resource is required to coordinate. When I talk about operations, there are a lot of new technological advancements happen. And today, there are a lot of new inventions, innovations getting published as like a patent. Today, educational institutions are triggered towards patenting because of the various ranking parameters what the central government is initiated. There are a lot of innovations happens. That is where today we have incubation centers getting created. Students are encouraged to come out with new ideas. And today youngsters at the age of 18 or 19, even when they enter into their very first year, it is astonishing to know that from their school level they are able to do some business. They have some new innovations. They are thinking on a very different scenario. When I was having a word with one of the first year student who has joined this year, I was able to see that he was talking about cyber security. He says that from his higher secondary education, his friends have joined, they have learned what is cyber security, and they have started doing this service for a few clients. And because of the age factor, they are not able to make it as like an enterprise. Today he talks where he should go, where he should register it as a company, and how legally he can operate. That's where today youngsters think beyond. And again, for the last 6 months, we made it as like online education. Good or bad, these students started using all the electronic gadgets to listen to their classes, to write their examinations, to submit their assignments. And apart from that, they explore the world. One thing, because I hope most of the people who have joined this platform today might be academicians. Then and there, we should make the students understand what things to be explored and what not to be. And they are not interested to listen to our advice. It should not be an advice. In some way, we should make them listen to our words. Where when we have the relationship, they will sure give their ears to listen to our words. It might not be 100% successful. Might be, if even it is 60% or 70%. It itself is a big marginal victory for us, and the rest 30 will get diverted when this 70 is good. Next, when we talk about marketing, in my initial talk, I was talking about how Swiggy has explored the business. It has expanded the market. Today, a new business is there in their hands. Even after this pandemic, even things are going to be normal or a new normal. Swiggy is not going to make a full stop for this new business. It is going to have a command. It is going to get continued. In that way, this business is going to get continued. And there are a lot of opportunities which has got explored. Today, we are supposed to wear mask. 100% genuinity of the mask should be there. Even after this pandemic, this might be required. We are there in a polluted environment. It will help us to safeguard ourselves. So production of mask is going to get continued. Hand sanitizers production is going to get continued. And all other new process, what we have learned, what we have started following, is not going to get ended. In that way, new businesses has got evolved. I was quite surprised to read a message. We normally call medical tourism. There was a message that after the medicine, if it is going to got found in UK or US, when it is going to get branded, when it is going to be officially launched that the public can use, there is an agency which is making advance booking with flight tickets, visa charges and the medicinal expenses. People who are affordable can book their tickets. They can travel on a day to US or UK where it is going to get launched. They can get the medicine injected and they can return back to India. People are in a way searching for new businesses. Today I was quite surprised. Even the kids at the age of 3 or 4 talks about exploring the electronic gadgets. People who are so aged, about 70, 75 or 80, normally they will not intend towards electronic gadgets. That is how the generation gap happens. But this pandemic even made them to explore the electronic gadgets. They are now experienced with electronic gadgets. I was able to see people who explore, who are seeing whatever their interest towards. I was able to see people who talked about the garden in their home, in their balcony, the people who talked about the organic farming, the people who talked about archaeology, the people who talked about the old and ancient principles, the people who talked about the temple structure, even before it was there. But today, things, because of this mode of online interaction, lot of people are coming out with their own knowledge. It's normally they never found platforms to talk. Today you should be so surprised to see more common people are starting their YouTube channels. They started to showcase their culinary experts, their talents on household maintenance. They make videos about rangolis. They never knew that this is a platform which is available. It was available even before this pandemic. But now, pandemic has kick-started everything. We are moving on to a very new dimension. And this pandemic situation, this management, is going to be the new theory for us. In future, the younger generation who are going to study management principles will read about these things. Authors will write about these things. What practice now we started following. And before I end, I was intended to talk about the human resource in other aspects too. Not only on the aspects of an employee of an organization. Normally when we talk human resource, most of the people have a blockage that human resource means the employees of the organization. My perspective might be right or might be wrong. It is pure my perspective. I think human resource coins from everywhere, not only the employees, might be our consumers. If our consumers taste and wants are different, we have to think of. As a human, I just see this in this perspective. They are unhuman. They have their thinking capability. They think, they make their desire in a different perspective where we have to diversify. You just think it of this chemical Dettol, which was slightly brownish in color. We never seen something a different perspective in that particular process. Today, the same Dettol is coming in a bluer version, a greener version. Why it happens? Because there are some mind changes happened. That is where Dettol want to make their competition good. They want to sustain in the market. They want to withhold their market leader position they make some changes. So, so-called consumers, the people who are into the buying process, they are also the resources for us. Though they are associated with market, I just feel that these are also a valid resource to decide on our business. When we talk about finance, our competitors, why Dettol has to come out with a different perspective? Immediately, consumers will not think of why this brownish Dettol can be in different color or different versions or different chemical combinations. Because of a competitor thought in that aspect, they are thinking in that way. When the competitors are intended for a new investment, they are thinking of a new investment or a change in their version. Immediately, we are also exploring the competition. That where again, a competitor as a human, they think, and I validate it as one another avenue of human resource which gives a valid information to us to make us think on new avenues, to make it as opportunities. When we talk about the technological advancement, I'm always interested to talk on the traditional methods what we have, the management lessons, what we teach, what we preach, or what we have learned has informed us about all the philosophical scientists, psychological scientists, names are from the Western countries. There are good research is required. Whatever be the management lesson they have taught, whatever they have written, if we make an depth research on the various philosophical books what we have, that made me to talk about the Mahabharata and management. There are around 400 plus lessons of management which is available in the stories of Mahabharata. Why we have not explored? Because we have been told it as like stories. We are never told about the basic lessons behind it. Why those stories or things have been created. That is where we are not had that concept of exploring the philosophies which are available in India. When we talk about quality management, when we talk about productivity concept, might be today we study everything as a Japanese concept. We talk about Ishikawa's principle. When we talk about Philip Kotler's statement about marketing, these things are still ideal as a principle behind the stories what we have heard in our engage or what we might have studied now from a book or what we might have seen as a telecasted version. Exploring is required. And these principles never we thought it should get correlated with our business scenario. Now today, this new normal is also got entered. Today, lot of exploration, lot of experiments, lot of comparisons are happening. In that way, we are so happy to see all these things. When new technological advancement happens, only a human who thinks or who works near to this operational process comes out with this innovation. That where again I see it as a human resource. When it is getting patented, today things are getting explored for new avenues. I just want to quote a quite interesting example, a bold decision took by TTK when they are the market leaders in kitchen equipments. They took a very bold decision and they have sold that brand to a competitor. And there was an agreement that they should not enter into that particular process of production. Whatever that particular brand was producing for initial 5 years of period, TTK should not enter with a different brand name with the same product. That was an agreement entered when the brand was sold to a competitor. They had a very different vision. They came out with a different brand name called Vidium. And the very first product they came out was Vidium wet grinders. Previously, they are not expert into that. Wet grinders versions have got differentiated with Vidium. And next, they have explored with a gas stove. They have explored for new inventions. That is where an invention made by one of the academician, the institution which I was associated before I took over as the principal of this particular institution, the sister concern, where one of the academician has explored a burner which consumes comparatively lower LPG. So that was acquired. They have made some experiments on that, and they have came out with a new gas stove into the market. That is where inventions makes things new, to make new businesses. As per their agreement, for first 5 years of time, they never touched the products which TTK was producing before. And after that, slowly they have entered into that also. And the very important point, the competitor who has bought that brand, still they are not able to become the market leaders. So it is not acquiring about a brand to become a market leaders. It is about our own capability, our own knowledge, our own thinking. That is where I think human resource plays a very vital role in management. It is not about technology, it is not about the funds what we have, it is not about the market share what we have. It is about the thinking capability, exploring habit, and moreover, the entrepreneurial spirit. From the top to the bottom, everyone think on the same aspect. Whatever might be the thing, whatever might be the years of experience, the span of the business, we will be having the sustainable development. I'm sure we will reach heights as we dream. Most of the people, I close my talk in this way. Most of the people say 2020, a dream year, as our past president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was talking about, now become as a black year. No, I will not accept for this. 2020 has given a new normal. 2020 has explored new businesses. 2020 has given us new opportunities. Why I call opportunities? Because there are a lot of challenges, and people who know how to convert challenges into opportunities will be the winner. This is a dream year, and India soon will become a developed country, very strong, with our own philosophies and with our own process of thinking. We will make this Supremo even better. With this, I wish the researchers who are ready to present their papers all success, and I also wish the organizers to make the conference happen even in this challenge, made them as an opportunity. They have explored international researchers to make presentations. In that way, it is their success. I wish the department, the backbones, the faculty members, the students, most often, my mentor, my guru, the coordinator, Dr. M. Shaktivel Murugan, even in this age, who is ready to give his entire support to make things happen. I wish everyone a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was very informative and thoughtful. Now, I call upon Dr. C. Sujata, Associate Professor, Cyber College, to present her research article.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. T. Sujata, HOD and Assistant Professor of the Department of Accounting and Finance. Now I am going to present a paper, a study on human capital management and its impact on IT employers towards work environment and career growth opportunities in Chennai environment. I want to share my PPT. 1 minute, please. Can everyone view my PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Let me start now. So my study is a human capital management. The human capital as a combination of knowledge, skills, talent and experience of employees which produces added value for organizations. So human resources, previously we say that humans, they are the resources persons. Now we say in the different word of capital, they are the capital to the organization. It is a source of innovation and strategic renewal, creates brainstorming, improving personal skills. We say that the human capital, that is the human resources, the employees, they are the creative. We have the employees and they have more and more creative power, and that power the employers are going to utilize for the improvement of their organization. Human capital consists of collecting and assessing the information required to attract, retain, develop and maintain the top performing and talented workforce. So that is, we say when it is a resource and they are our employees, and we have to improve, the employers have to improve the employees in all the aspects in order to utilize their workforce entirely. The study concentrates the major components of human capital management. We have taken the major components, the dimensions. What are the various dimensions which improves the human capital? Need for human capital management. Why the human capital is important? What is the need for the human capital management? Why we should? Because they are the backbone of the industries. They are the backbone. They are the main people. They are the main. The human resource is the main area of each and every company. So every employee needs to be empowered with why every employee is in need or what is the need, because they are the important people. Only when the employees are grown, only when the employees are empowered, then that improves and that enhances the organization. The staffs, when the staffs are more efficient, then automatically the particular company can enter into the competitive areas. They can enter into the competition with even with others, and they are able to take new challenges, definitely. So we have the objectives and objectives of the study, why this study we have taken. The study concentrates the main components. So I'll tell you the what are the major components, the major dimensions we have taken. So to study the major components and the next one, to consolidate the list of human capital item, what are the various, how it affects the improvement of the employees, that also we have studied. The research methodology concern we have taken into, it is a descriptive study and a well structured questionnaire has been prepared. Primary data, this questionnaires are distributed. Convenient sampling method has been followed. Top 5 companies, IT companies selected, and 750 questionnaires we have distributed, each around 150, and totally 552 was flawless we have collected, and some were not filled correctly, so such things were deleted, and the fully completed is 552 that we have taken into consideration. First, impact on conducive work environment in IT companies. Human capital, conducive work environment. The first thing, conducive work environment. So the meaning of conducive work environment is, that is, the environment, not only that is it should be hygienic, neat, cleanly, everything, all those things were there, but apart from that, when your employee is working and he is facing the boss, the other persons, the colleagues, all must be so conducive and they are so cordial relationship. All those things are coming under conducive work environment only. So when the team is good, when the team is so good and so understanding, adjustive, and they work together with the team spirit, definitely they are able to complete the work successfully. So for the to have the conducive work environment, only the employer has to make arrangement to work the employees with a good environment. And when they have the good environment, opportunity automatically that creates and that improves the career growth of the employees. So the next level, they'll go in hand. The different constants, the predictors, dimensions are employee participation. So, what are the various ways the employees can be improved, developed in order to make them utilized to enhance the organization? Then we found these are the first one, the employee participation. So, employee participation is the employees are required in the decision making, even in other areas where the employers can ask the employees their own ideas. So employees are participative management. We have studied in the principles of management the participative management. So that is, the employees are being participated in the decision making in other areas, in other avenues. So that makes their mind, oh, we are also recognized by the employers. The next one, knowledge management. Continuously, the employees, they have to upgrade themselves to the present scenario. So when according to the situation, the companies also, they create a new avenues. According to that, the employees also to upgrade themselves. Career growth. When an employee has the idea or has the thinking that they can have their career can be grown in this particular institution, then automatically they'll work continuously. Training and development. So in each and every IT company, they spend quite a lot amount to give training and development continuously every year they give training, that is there. So 2 days they take out of their office, and they are provided with the soft skill training, stress management, with the good trainers. So that makes them motivated, and new areas they can learn. Next comes profitability. All those things, if they do, profitability will be there. So with the less time, more work. With the less amount, more earning, profitability. Then performance appraisal. So performance appraisal in all the areas in IT industries, every year 360-degree performance appraisal they have to undergo. When they know performance appraisal is there, then automatically people will work. Then recruitment and selection, that is HR department, they have around the clock, they have this work, recruitment and selection. Then core competencies, a very good area of core competencies. So this core competencies means what are the various, suppose according to the new project, their competency level also getting increased. Suppose this particular, for an example, for this particular project, Java or C++ or next thing Python language, or what are the new languages, what are the new areas, how the software or whatever, that the competency level also to be increased according to the new project or the new modern new things. Okay, when the new order comes or new project comes, according to that, the employees competency level also must be improved. So then only they are able to compete with the modern with the in this competitive world. Innovation, continuous innovation must be there. So in so many companies, they have a research and development department, and they are giving new product with it. Nowadays, some 2 years back, whatever the product we purchased, and now we cannot find out the same product. Now the new product only available with the new designs, with the new things, with the new technical improvement. New products are being out. So these innovations are coming from where? With only from the employees. So when employees are good and satisfied with all these areas, then automatically the innovation areas also will be improved. When the innovation is good and they are able to make profitability, good profitability, all those things will improve the organization. So this is the thing we found in our study. So in this, uh, the human capital management practices are very important. So human capital is, that is a HR practice must be important in all the companies, not only in IT. We have taken it this as a research purpose, but in all the areas, in whether it is a small company or a big company, small shop or big one, whatever may be, there the employees must be taken care. In which companies the employees are being taken care, only that particular company can improve. In a small term itself they are able to improve. It upgrades the service quality standards. It upgrades the service quality. In some companies, when we see the service is very good, and we say that the particular industry or particular hotel or the shops or wherever, sometimes we say that there the service is very good, so we should go there. Even the cost is more, we should go there. So it improves the service quality. The employees will think that they are not working, but they will think that it is their own, and they'll improve their they think and they work in that level. So new year innovations in software and services, new inventions, new things, new innovations, it will be possible. So these innovations purely depend upon the proper implementation of HR practices. So proper implementation of HR practices, this is the most important thing. At per stage must be there. So there should not be one person is good and another person they are giving that is kindness to one person and so aggressive to another. It should not be. There must be a at par situation to all the employees. It must be there. Then the next thing, human capital management is a comprehensive review of all human aspects. It all are you in all the human aspects, not only in one. So the quality must be improved, and the structure of system, the skills, attitude, all those things the HR company, HR department will take care. That is there. The significance of human capital management is that it recognizes the importance of creating the right environment and thereby facilitating long-term improvement in the organization. So certain things are being framed, then it not goes for the short-term improvement, it goes for the long-term. So once it is an investment, then continuously the employee will be with us only and will not go out, and the output whatever we are getting, it will go for a long term. It is there. To meet the challenges of the changing, it is the most important thing. There is changes continuously. There is a changes continuously. மாற்றம் ஒன்றே மாறாதது. Continuous changes are there. So when there is a continuous changes, then we also have to make ourselves to change to cope up with the new things. When we are not able to upgrade, then when the employees are not upgrading, then the institution is difficult only. So the each and every employer has to take care of the employees in all these levels in order to make them life successful. So the employees, especially in the high cadre, need to know the responsibilities. So this is what I told. The employees, that is, each and every employee, they should know their responsibility, and they have to work. They should understand the responsibility, and they have to enhance themselves. So all these things are possible. The employers must understand. The employees, those who work in their organization, and they are not liabilities. They are the assets, and they are the capital. That is the amount, whatever that we are investing, that is the capital to the organization. So with this, I end up my presentation. Thank you for everyone for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you in this seminar. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, first of all, very good presentation, nice research, and as you suggested, மாற்றம் ஒன்றே மாறாதது. That is what this pandemic has taught to us. Very good research, very good presentation. You have took much pain in preparing this research paper. I appreciate for this. From my side, I doesn't have any questions. If any of the audience want to have some clarifications or something to be asked with madam, you can ask, or otherwise we can move further with the next paper. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask now. You can unmute your audio and ask it. I think there's no questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity you have given to me. Thank you so much.
I now call upon Ms. Shromna Niohi, research scholar, to present her research article. Ms. Shromna Niohi. I think she is not in the meeting. Okay. I now call upon Mrs. Anuja Mary to present her research article.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sujita Jeevita is still presenting a paper. If she switches off, then I can continue, I suppose.
I'll make my stop sharing. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, I am a research scholar from Chelamal College, Women's College, and I'm Anuja Mary. And my topic is impact of contemporary tourism on socio-economic conditions of tour operators, especially in Chennai district. And now I'll present my slide. Just a minute. Just give me some time, sir, please. Okay, so is my video clear, sir? PPT? Impact of contemporary tourism on socio-economic conditions of tour operators in Chennai district. It's clear that contemporary tourism has taken, it's become a real factor in India, and it is contributing towards the economic growth also. And just to brief on contemporary tourism is an international approach, and it gives a very new, refreshing approach to the study of tourism. And its origin, just to give you a brief idea, its origin is from the Grand Tour, which was a traditional trip in Europe around Germany and Italy. And it was undertaken by upper class people, especially young men, around Western and Northern European countries. So now, because India, there's a lot of contribution towards economic growth from contemporary tourism, and especially I've taken Chennai district. So the introduction to my topic is contemporary tourism. It is helped in preserving and sustaining the diversity of India's natural and cultural environment. So India, as we know, India is very rich in heritage, in culture and heritage, and also in natural resources. So here it helps, this particular tourism, contemporary tourism helps in preserving and sustaining the diversity of India's natural and cultural environment. And it also helps in the growth, economic growth and development. So it, and especially this depends on the quality, the service quality of tourist operators. So my study is on tourist operators and their socio-economic condition due to contemporary tourism, and how satisfied the tourists are. And then tourist operators, they are the prime stakeholders in the development of tourism industry. So tourism industry, they are the prime stakeholders. And here, how they compete. Nowadays, we have corporate entities coming in to tourism. So how traditional operators, they compete with corporate entities, and how they try to upgrade themselves and how they try to withstand the competition. So this is what is my study about. And then to come to the objectives, how the origin. So I told you the origin of contemporary tourism. So the origin, the growth and the development of contemporary tourism in Tamil Nadu, and special reference to Chennai district. And the literature is on the contemporary tourism model and development and its impact on socio-economic prospects of tour operators. So my study is about tour operators, both registered and unregistered tour operators, and how it affects the socio-economic characteristics. So the sample I have taken, and how it affects the socio-economic conditions of these tour operators, and to analyze the socio-economic impact of ecotourism and medical tourism. So this is again increasing in India. So ecotourism and medical tourism, more than entertainment, they come in for the ecotourism and medical tourism. So how that is also how it affects the tour operators. Then the challenges of ecotourism and medical tourism on tourist operators. So how challenging it has been, and to suggest the policy measures. So these are the objectives. Then the methodology used is through a structural questionnaire. So the data is collected from a structural questionnaire. So the tourist operators are the primary respondents in this study. Then the questionnaire is distributed among tour operators in Chennai district. So I've taken about 500 and almost 442 have answered. The sample size is 442, and how their response. So that is what is my methodology. And the data, the findings, I felt that almost 58% of the respondents, that is the tour operators, they were registered, and only 42% were unregistered. So majority of the tour operators were registered, and so the business, so I come to a conclusion that the business is organized to a greater extent in recent past. And then among 45% of the operators were from the domestic tourism, so within India, and 38.5% they were connected to international tourism, and 16.5% were performing both domestic and international tourism. Then the area of traditional medicine, and then traditional medicines like Ayurveda and Siddha, and all these the areas, and Vedic literature and other cultural areas of tourism can be explored with full potentials, and they have a lot of opportunity in contemporary category. So for example, leading states of medical tourism like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, New Delhi, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. So Tamil Nadu is one among them, and surely we have contributed towards Ayurvedic and Siddha medicines, and also Vedic literature and other cultural areas. Then contemporary tourism has definite impact on the lifestyle. So it has surely changed the lifestyle, the standard of living, and the employment and empowerment dimensions of tourist operators. So there's a drastic change from the traditional tourist operators to the corporate tourist operators, so it has changed their lifestyle. And there's an impact on the contemporary tourism on the cultural aspects. So here there's a slight 55% level they've rejected. So how much of effect it has been put on cultural aspect. So these are my findings. And finally, the recommendations. So they felt together, as we talk about transportation and logistic infrastructure, they felt that it should be improved to serve the demand of tourism in sector, especially in Chennai. And then when coming to food and beverages, also they felt there are available restaurants, but then they felt there should be a more quality, there should be improvement in the quality of food and beverages. And when it comes to sanitation, hygiene, and communication facilities available in the destination, even that needs a bit improvement. Then a majority of host as well as the tourists, they felt that the availability of hospitals, quality of hospitals, then recreation facilities and public lighting systems in the area are very poor. In particular destinations are very poor. Then majority of tourists are of the opinion that sightseeing packages given by registered and unregistered tourist operators, and facilities for adventure activities and safety and security facilities available at the destination were good. Then regeneration facilities like gym and those kind of facilities were also of good quality and are at the destination. So this is my study about contemporary tourism.
Dr. Vijay, sir?
Sir, ma'am, did I present
sorry.
my paper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. It was quite what to call the need of the hour topic. That is what I was even mentioning when I was addressing the audience.
Okay.
This tourism actually, in general, when we call it as tourism, it is different. But today, after this pandemic, we are thinking of different varieties of tourism process, and you have made a good attempt. I think this is the area where you are doing your doctorate, or this is.
Yes, sir. This is the place where I'm doing my doctorate.
Yeah, great. Possibly you can also trace how this tourism is getting enlarged. Actually, many of them are telling like tourism has totally got affected, but tourism is getting expanded. Yeah, this is what is my view. When you are doing your research for your doctorate, when you are making your elaborate research, when try to adopt how tourism has got expanded during this pandemic, and how new opportunities have got involved.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Might be your research may help tourism industry.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Very good research. Very good research. I think audience, if they have any questions, you can post to madam. From my side, again, I am very clear with the paper. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask now. I think there's no questions from participant sides too.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for the motivation given, and thank you for the opportunity also.
We are pleased to have your participation in the outstanding conference, and we thank all of you for your valuable contribution. Professor G. Anbalahan, Faculty, Department of Management Studies, will now deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, one and all. It's my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks to distinguished participants in the National Conference Emerging Business Trend in Post-COVID-19, organized by Department of Management Studies, DB Jain College. I would like to express my profound gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. L. Vijay, Principal, SA College of Arts and Science, Chennai. We are also extremely grateful to our Secretary and Correspondent, Dr. Harish L. Mehta and Sri Jaswant Manod, and the honorable committee members of the Trust. Also, I would like to extend a special thanks to Dr. Shaktivel Murugan, Professor in charge, for the valuable guidance and support for organizing this conference. I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to our distinguished panel of speakers, delegators from various institutions, distinguished participants and guests for participating in the event. I express my deep, sincere thanks, gratitude to all of the student representatives, volunteers who have done a commendable job in making the event a grand success. Once again, thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.